Welcome to MSI Analytics. In today's video, we are going to dive into the world of Power BI and create a product performance dashboard from scratch. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on data analysis and Power BI tutorials. By the end of this video, you will have a fully functional product performance dashboard. You will see how easy it is to bring your data to life and make decisions faster with Power BI. This is what we will be building from scratch. Now, if you're wondering why Power BI is the tool of choice for many professionals, here's why. Power BI is the hottest BI tool out there right now. It's your gateway to AI, and learning it will open doors to endless possibilities in the data world. But let's be real, Power BI's learning curve can feel like climbing a mountain in roller skates. The tool has so many features and it can feel overwhelming at first, but don't worry, you are not alone in this journey. Here's the good news, we have got you covered. You will learn everything you need to know to become proficient in Power BI, and we are going to break it down into manageable steps. We will guide you through it step by step with easy to follow instructions. You have got this. Just stick with us, and you will be building your own powerful dashboards in no time. Let's master these steps together. First, we will connect with our data sources, organize and refine or even disorganize the data, clearly outline our calculations using DAX, create engaging and immersive visualizations, and finally share the report on the web with your friends. This video is a full package. You will get everything you need, from the basics to advanced techniques, all in one place. Think of it as a complete Power BI guide, a step-by-step tutorial with downloadable files to follow along. You will have all the resources you need right at your fingertips. Moreover, we will make sure you have everything you need to succeed, whether you are new to Power BI or looking to polish your skills. This tutorial is designed for you. To get the most out of this tutorial, make sure you watch till the very end. We will be sharing valuable insights and tips throughout, and trust me, it's worth every second. This isn't over yet. We have some exciting surprises coming up as we go along. To make this even more exciting, if you pass the test at the end of this tutorial, you will receive a free certificate. So stay tuned and give it your best shot. Now, let's dive into the tutorial. Let's start building that product performance dashboard from scratch. First things first, we are going to open Power BI on our desktop. If you're not sure how to download Power BI, don't worry, we have got you covered. We already made a tutorial on how to download Power BI, and you can find the link popping up right here around the corner. Just click on that video, follow the steps, and you will have Power BI up and running in no time. Now that you have Power BI desktop open, let's move on to importing our dataset. To do that, you are going to go in the Get Data option and you are going to select Excel Workbook. After that, we are going to go in our desktop and I'm going to select my dataset and click Open. Just a quick reminder, you can download this dataset along with the files we have provided in the description below. So feel free to grab them and follow along. Now, as you can see that our dataset contains of three tables, which are sales, regions, and product. I'm going to select all three of them and I'm going to import them. And then I'm going to select load. This is going to load all three of my datasets into the Power BI report. Now here is the data that we have imported. So this is the data for our products table. This is for region and this is our sales data. After that, we are going to create some relationship. For that, we are going to select model view. So we will create our first relationship between our sales table and our regions table. For this, I'm going to select our region key from sales table and put it on index in the region table. So this is going to create a many-to-one relationship between sales table and our region table. We are also going to rename our sales table to sales only. So it is more easy to visualize. After that, we are going to create a relationship between sales table and products table. For that, we are going to select our product key from sales table and put it on index. Now, this is going to create a many-to-one relationship between sales table and products table. After that, we don't need a relationship between region and products table, so we are going to delete this relationship. And here you go. We have our relationships ready for each of the tables. Now that we have set up all the relationships in our Power BI report, it's time to prep the data before we start building the dashboard. For this, we will head over to Power Query. For that, I'm going to right click on any table I want and I'll just select Edit Query. Power Query is a powerful tool within Power BI that allows us to clean, transform, and shape our data just the way we need it. I'll perform a few actions here to ensure our dataset is ready for analysis. This step is crucial because having well-prepared data makes the dashboard development process much smoother and ensures accuracy in the final output. So let's dive in and get started with Power Query. To create our product performance dashboard, we need a date table. A date table is essential for time-based analysis and ensures that our data is well structured for the visualizations we are about to build. So for that, I have already written an M code to generate the date table, and I'll be showing it to you in this video. Don't worry about copying it down. This M code is included in the downloadable files. So head over to the description to grab it and follow along. Now, let's create the date table. I'll start by selecting this option New Source, and then I will select Blank Query. Here I am going to paste that M code that I selected earlier, and then I'm going to press Enter. After that, we are going to select our start date of the dataset, which is 1st January 2021. So I'm going to select the date from this option. And our end date is going to be 31st December 2024. And our FY start month is going to be 1. Then I'm going to select Invoke. So now our function is invoked and we have successfully created a date table. I am going to rename this to date, and here you go. We have our date table ready. Now that our date table is ready, we need to add one additional column to it, which is going to be a short month column. This column will display abbreviated names like Jan, Feb, March, and so on. The short month column is crucial for our dashboard visuals like slicers because it makes it look more concise and user friendly. So now let's learn how we can do that. So in my date table, I have this column month and calendar. I'm going to select this, and as you can see that it has all the months with their year. I just need the starting 3 letters for each of the month. So for that, I'm going to select my month in calendar column. Then I'm going to go in add column, select extract, then select first characters, and then my count is 3, and click OK. This is going to give me a column for short month column. Now let's rename this column to short month name. For that, I am going to double click on the header and name it as short month name, or whatever you want to name the column, and click enter. And now we have our date table ready to use. Now that we have created and refined our date table, let's explore some additional steps you can perform in Power Query to better understand and organize your data. For example, I'm going to select the sales table, and then I'm going to go in View. Here we have some really useful options like column distribution. Column distribution gives you a quick visual overview of the uniqueness and distribution of the data within a column. You can also see the column profile. Column profile provides detailed statistics about the data in a column such as distinct values, errors, and nulls. Apart from that, we can also see column quality. It helps you to assess the overall data quality, highlighting errors, empty values, and valid entries. These tools are extremely helpful for data cleaning and ensuring the data you are working with accurate and reliable. So now I am done with all the changes I wanted to do in Power Query. So I'll just simply click Close and Apply. Now that we are done with all the foundational work, setting up relationships, transforming data, and preparing the tables, it's time to start building our dashboard. So first of all, I will resize the canvas to my desired size to ensure the dashboard fits perfectly and looks professional. So for that, I'm going to go in Format Your Report page. Here, I'm going to go in Canvas Settings. I'm going to select Custom as my type, and then I want 970 as my height and 1400 as my width. And this is my desired size. After that, I am going to import the canvas background, which is going to be this one. I have already designed this layout in Canva. This background will serve as a base for our dashboard, giving it a polished and cohesive look. So now, in Canvas background, I'm going to browse this and import it. So now our background is in the Power BI report. Now that our dashboard layout is set, the next step is to create some measures. Measures are essential in Power BI as they allow us to calculate key metrics and insights dynamically. So first of all, I'm going to select this option, Enter Data, and I'm going to create a table and I'm going to name it as Key Measures. After that, I'm going to hit Load. As you can see that we have created our table successfully, I'm going to select this and now I'm going to create a new measure inside this table. So first of all, we are creating a sales measure. So I'm going to name it as sales is equals to sum from sales table, the column of sales. Hit enter, close the bracket, enter again. Now our measure is ready. Now I'm going to delete this column from our table that we created. As soon as we delete the column, it is going to transform into the measure header for key measures. Now I'm going to create some other measures inside key measures. So our second measure is going to be for cost. I'm again going to select the option for new measure. And now I'm going to name this measure as cost. Then I'm going to choose the SumX option. Then from sales table, we will need the sales order quantity, which we are going to multiply with sales unit cost. Bracket close and hit enter. Our another measure is ready, which is cost measure. After that, let's create another measure, which is for orders. I'm again going to select new measure, name it as orders. We will use the count rows function and select sales. Hit enter. After that, let's create our profit measure. Going to name it as profit. Then for this, we need to subtract sales from cost. Hit enter. After that, we are going to create quantity measure. Sum function. Then from sales table, we will need order quantity. Bracket close. Hit enter. After that, let's create profit margin measure. I'm going to name it as profit margin. Then I'm going to use the divide function where I will use the profit measure along with the sales measure. Bracket close. Hit enter. And then our very last measure for now, that is average selling price. For this, we will again use the divide function where I am going to select the sales measure, the quantity measure, bracket close, hit enter. So we have created all 7 measures. These are going to be our core measures that we will be needing multiple times while doing the visualizations. So now I'm going to put these measures inside one folder and we are going to name that folder as core measures. So for that I'm going to go in model view. So what I am going to do is I'm going to press on Control key and select each of the measure. After that, I'm going to go in Properties and in Display folder, I'm going to name it as Core Measures and hit Enter. This will create a folder with the name of Core Measures, and inside it we will have all of our core measures. Once we are done with our core measures, it's time to move on to our comparison measures. For that again, I am going to select Enter Data, and I am going to name this table as Comparison. Hit Enter, and let's create our first measure, which is going to be Cost Last Month, and hit Enter. And inside Comparison Measures, I'm going to create my first measure, which is going to be Cost Last Month. Hit Enter. And our first measure is ready. Again, I'm going to delete this column. After that, let's create our another measure, which is Orders Last Month. Hit Enter. Moving forward to our next measure, which is Profit Last Month. Hit Enter. Moving forward to our another measure, which is Profit Margin Last Month. Hit Enter. Then we will also need a measure for quantity last month. Hit Enter, and then another measure, which is sales last month. Hit Enter. Now again, I'm going to put all these measures inside one folder and name it as previous months. For that again, I'm going to go in Model View. Here I'm going to press on Control, select all these measures, and name this folder as previous month. Going back to our report, now we will also need one measure for order growth. So again, I'm going to create a new measure. Just a reminder, you can find all these calculations for measures in our downloadable files. Hit Enter and our order growth measure is ready. Once these measures are ready, we will move forward to our variance measures. Variance measures are significantly important for reports like these to highlight trends, identify anomalies, drive decision making. So again, I'm going to create a new measure where I will name it as variance cost n minus cost from cost last month and hit enter. This measure will calculate the difference between the cost for the current period and cost for the previous month. After that, I am going to create another measure for variance quantity. Again, select New Measure and hit enter. I am going to do the same for other measures like profit, quantity, sales with the exact same formula and method. Once all my variance measures are ready with the exact same formula that I used for cost, I am going to put all of these variance measures inside one folder and name it as variance. For that, again, I am going to go in model view, press Ctrl and select all the variance measures. And I'm going to name this folder as variance. Hit enter. Once we have created all the variance measures, it's time to move on to our month-over-month measures. For that, let's move forward to our report view. Here, let's create our first measure, which is month-over-month cost change percentage. This calculates the percentage change by dividing the variance by the cost last month. If the cost change is positive, it will give us an upper arrow, and if it is negative, it is going to show us a down arrow. This type of visual is extremely important for our report because it provides instant insight into cost trends, helping us quickly identify areas for increases or decreases and take appropriate action. So let's move on and create our first measure. So this is the formula that we are going to use, and we are going to do the exact same method for other measures for cost, order, profit, quantity and sales. Hit enter, and I'll just do the exact same methods for other measures. Now, as you can see that I have already created all of my month-over-month measures with the exact same formula I showed you guys for cost. Again, I am going to put all of these measures inside one folder and name it as month-over-month. I'm going to go in model view again. Here I'm going to select all these measures, which starts with month-over-month. And I'm going to name this folder as month-over-month percentage measures and hit enter. Now that we are done with creating all of our necessary measures for now, it's time to move forward to create our very first visual, which are card visuals. So I'm going to select this new card visual from the visualization pan, and for this specific visual, we are going to use all of our core measures that we created. So we are going to select sales. After that, we are going to select cost, then profit, quantity, orders, and profit margin. We can also rename these to make it more understandable for our viewers. So I'm going to rename sales to total sales, cost to total cost, and orders to total orders. After that, I'm going to go in format your visual option, and here I'm going to select the specific size that I want to keep for my visual. So I'm going to keep the height as 141 and width as 1231. After that, we are going to come back to our visual option and select layout. Then I'm going to choose the selection as grid, and I'm going to show 5 rows and 6 columns. So it will align all the core measures that we have chosen. After that, I'm going to select the visual, and then I'm going to go in reference labels. Here I'll add data for previous month and variance. First of all, I'm going to choose sales last month, and from variance, I'm going to choose variance sales. Then I'm going to do the same for total cost. I'm going to select cost last month and then variance cost. I'm going to do exactly the same thing for other 4 visuals. Now that I am done with putting reference labels for all card visuals, it's time to put images to these card visuals. And then we will move forward to the formatting part. First of all, I'm going to put images. For that, I have to turn this feature on. And then, first of all, I'm going to start with doing the image for sales. I'm going to select browse, and I have already taken out some sort of icons for each of the card visual. I'm going to use this one for sales. Open, and here you can see that I have put the image for sales. But right now it is not visually appealing because we haven't done the formatting yet. Right now we are just uploading all the images. Then total cost, browse, do the same procedure again, and then I'm going to do these same steps for other 4 cards. Okay, so I have now uploaded images for all the card visuals. Now it's time to format it a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off this fix size button, and it is showing me 50 right now. I'm just going to take it to, I guess 22 is fine. So I'm going to take it to 22. After that, let's start formatting it from layout. We have already done all the necessary changes in the layout. Then let's check overflow. We will choose the overflow direction as horizontal. Moving forward to callout values, Don't want to do any major changes here. I also want to keep some space between cards. Right now it is on 9px. You are going to find this option in your layout. I'm going to do at least 17. Now I'm also going to change the font size because it's too big right now. You can find this option in callout values, and I'm going to take it to at least 30, or let's say we can do 26. Okay, after that, I'm going to select sales from here, and decimal place I'm going to choose 1. Then I'm going to go with cost, and again I'm going to choose decimal place as 1 instead of auto. Then profit, decimal place as 1. Moving forward to the labels, we will keep the font size as 10 and choose this style. After that, we are going to minimize the images more because I think they are way too big. I'll make sure to select all from this so it resizes all of the images, and then I'll keep it to 30, or let's do it 22. This is perfect. After that, we will go back to reference labels, and here let's say we are working with total sales, and I want to see comparison with last month. So I will select variance sales, and then I will go in details. I will turn this on, and then in details I'll select data, and I will choose the comparison measure that I made for month over month, and I'm going to select this one. Going to keep the font size as 9. And now you will be able to see variance measure inside it. We still have a lot of formatting to do. That's why it is not properly visible yet. So let's just do the formatting for now, and it will all come into place. I'll do the exact same thing for other card visuals. Let's do it together for total cost. Again, I'll go in detail. I will add data. Before adding data, I will have to select the label, which is variance cost, and then I will be able to put data, comparison measure, month over month cost. I will keep the same font size and same style. I'll do the exact same thing for other 4 card visuals. Okay, then I will select series all, and for title I will keep the font size 9 and style as then. After that, we are going to apply some sort of conditional formatting on the variance. I'm going to select total sales and then in detail, I am going to apply conditional formatting. Okay, so now it's time to apply conditional formatting to the variance. So for that, I'm going to go in this fx sort of symbol, which is for conditional formatting. Here, I'm going to select my style as rules, and we will base this on our comparison measure, which is for variance. So it's going to be variance sale. And then our rule is going to be if it is greater than equal to minimum number and less than 0, then it is going to be known as negative. Then we will introduce another rule which says if it is greater than 0, we will put 0 here, number, and greater than equal to maximum number, then it's gonna be positive. So we will use the shade of green to show the positive impact and click OK. So now you would be able to see this in your card visual. Right now it is not showing any impact because the sales was almost the same in the previous month. So let's do it for total cost. I will select total cost here. Then my label will be total cost. Then we will put the same rules for total cost like we did for total sales. I'll apply the same rules in other card visuals like I did for total sales. Now let's get back to the formatting part. We'll check call out values again. Keep the series as all. The font size is going to be 26 and font is going to be thin. After that, we will move forward to label. We're going to keep it 10 and same style for each of the visuals. Now you would be able to see that it is coming in place step by step. Then we are going to keep the space as 9. In layout, we will keep the callout size at 58%. Then for reference labels, we'll select all again. The title font is correct. For value, the font is going to be the same style for 10 and font size will be 10. Then moving forward, we will go into divider. We will choose the transparency as at least 15%. Then we will move forward to the background. We will choose the color according to our report theme. You can choose any shade you want, but you're working with the theme, so we are going to go with this color. It's too dark for my liking, so I'm going to keep the transparency as 87%. So it's more lighter and nicer to visualize. Moving forward to the layout, I'll keep the middle alignment. Then I'm going to keep the same spacing. I don't think I... And then for spacing, I'm going to put 0 in both of them. And then images, select all, size is 22. According to me, the images are pretty small, so let's keep it at 30. Then for cards, I will select rounded rectangle, and these are way too much rounded, so I'm going to keep it at 5 only. So it's subtle and nice. I'll keep the padding size as narrow. Alignment middle. Background, I will choose this color. And I will keep the transparency at 95%. After that, I will go into border. I'll keep the transparency at 66%. I don't need shadow and glow, so I'll work with accent bar. I will select the position at top and I'll work with this shade of blue. And I'll keep the width as 4 points. Now let's move forward to the general part where I will resize it again to 141 and position it at 143 horizontally and vertically 73. So it is more aligned. And I'm going to keep the padding exactly the same. I don't need to do much changes in general section of the visualization. Right now we are not able to visualize the conditional formatting that we have done, but once we put slicers in the dataset, we will be able to visualize those conditional formatting that we did. So my card visuals are now ready. They look much more visually appealing and easy to understand. Now let's work with slicers so that we can see the conditional formatting that we did for our card visuals. So for the slicer, I am going to select slicer. Okay, so I have selected product name. Now I want to visualize it in a drop-down format. So for that, I'm going to go in Format, Slicer Setting, and I'm going to select a Style as drop-down. Now it is showing me the names in a drop-down format. Now it's time to do some format on the slicer that we have selected and do the placement of it. Then for selection, I'm gonna keep it as it is. And then in values, I'm going to select same font style that we did for our card visual. Then border, we're going to keep the exact same setting, and then background color. We are going to work with this shade of blue because we are following the report theme. After that, we will move forward to the general part of the slicer. And here in properties, I will keep the height as 55 and width as 160. I will position it at least 800 and vertical it at 4, or I'll just do it 802 and 4. Then I'll change the padding from this side. I'll move it to 0 from 5. Then moving forward to title, I will keep it at 9. Then for spacing, I'm going to keep it at 3. And then I don't want to put any effects in the slicer. I will just change the font color. I will go back to visual and I will choose the font color as white instead of black. This is our slicer. Shows us all the products that we have in our dataset. Moving forward, let's build another slicer, which is going to be for hair. I'm going to select this new slicer and I'm going to select date. We will see the date hierarchy and we are only going to put hair. Then in format your visual option, I'll go into the slicer setting and I'll turn on the force selection. After that, I will select my shape as rounded rectangle and the rounded corner, I'm going to put it at 10. And for layout, I will choose the column shown as 2 and space width I'm going to keep at 4. Then for callout value, I'm going to put the font size to 9. Then I don't want to make any changes in label and images, so I'll go forward with buttons. I'll do the custom padding. I'll put it as 3, 3, this side as 6, and then this side as 1. I'll turn off the borders. I'll choose a shade for this. I'm going to work with this shade. Then I will move forward with general part of the formatting. I'll go to properties. I'm going to select the height as 68 and width as 128. And I'm going to place it right here beside our first slicer, which was for product. Then I will position it at 984 vertically 4. For padding, I'm going to keep it exactly as it is. For title, I'm going to keep the size as 9. Now I'll just change the color for our slicer. So by default, this is the setting that we have kept. And then I'll select Hoover, and padding, I'm going to keep it exactly as it is. I'm just going to change the color. For this, I'm going to use this shade. It looks perfect according to our theme. Then for press, I'll choose a slightly different shade of gray. Let's work with a custom shade. I think this is perfect. After that, we will move forward to selected. Here, I'll change the padding a bit. I'll make it 2. I'm going to keep this side as 3, and I'm going to keep this side as 4. And then for my fill, I'll choose the same shade of blue that we have used in our first slicer. And then for our last state, which is mixed, I'm going to keep the same padding, which is by default, and I will go with this shade of gray. And our second slicer for air is ready. So let's just select a product. Let's select polo shirt and the year 2022. After that, we are going to make another slice, which is going to be for all the short months. So I'll just simply again select this new slicer, and then in my fields, instead of choosing date like we did last time, I'm going to choose short month. And then I'm going to do the formatting exactly how I did for this slicer. Now that I'm done with changing the color for the slicer, it's time to position it. So for that, I'm going to go in general, select properties, and I'm going to keep the height as 66, and my width is gonna be around 199, or let's just keep it a little bigger. So I think 250, or I think 255 is better. And let's just place it right here. I will keep it horizontally at 1134 and vertically at 4. Now I'll just do some more formatting in the title and get back to you. Here I'm also going to change the title to select month. I can also change the title for other two slicers. So I'm going to keep this as select year and this one as select product. And for my first slicer, I'm just going to turn off the header of the slicer. So now it looks more clean and aligned with other slicers. And here we are going to select the month for April. So now we are done with our slicers of the report. Here is a quick tip for you guys. If you find formatting pretty difficult for each visual, what you can do is you can go inside view option, select this arrow, and then scroll down and select customize theme. Here you can select the color palette according to your report's criteria. So let's say if we want shades of blue, then you can put all the shades of blue right here, and then whatever color you want for your negative, positive, neutral, you can put these according to your preferences. And then in text, you can select any of the text you want. Let's say we are working with this font DIN. So I'm going to select DIN, and now this setting will apply to all the visuals that we have already created and all the visuals that we are going to create in the report. And then you have to click apply, and the setting will be applied to all of your report. I hope you found this tip pretty helpful. One more thing that we can do with our slicer right now is that the months are not in a proper format. So for that, we are going to go back to our table view. Here we will select our date table, and then we will select our short month column because this is the column that we are using in that slicer. After that, I'll select sort by column, and I will select month of year. And then you would be able to see the difference in your slicer. It will be aligned by month. Now it's showing us each of the month one by one. Also in our card slicer, since profit margin is going to be in percentage, so let's change this. To do that, I will go back to my key measures. Then I'll select 4 measures, and then I will select this measure. After that, in general, I will select percentage. And now you are able to see the percentage sign. You can also select decimal places. Let's work with 1 decimal place. Now we are seeing only 1 decimal place. So you can make any changes you want according to your specified criteria. Another addition that we can do in our card visual is that since total sales, total cost and profit are showing us the currency, so we can put a currency symbol across them. So for that, I am going to select my sales measure. Again, I am going to go in the measure tools format, and I'm going to select it as currency. And then you will be able to see the symbol for currency in your card visual. I'm going to do the same for total cost and profit. Here you go, we have currency symbol for our total sales, total cost and profit. Now we are done with all our card visuals and all 3 of our slicers. It's time to move forward to our another visual, which is going to be a table. So I'm going to select a table from the visualization span. So we are going to select this table, and we will place it right here. And then it's time to select all of our important data fields. So we will visualize our data in a sequence. So first of all, we are going to select date from date table. Right now it is showing us the date hierarchy. So I'm going to select this drop down menu and I'm going to select date instead of date hierarchy. Right now it is showing us date in the full format. So for that we are going to select date column, and from my format I am going to select short date. And now we are able to visualize the date in a shorter format. After my date column, I am going to select channel from sales table. So right now it is showing us an error because we haven't created a relationship between sales table and our date table. So we will quickly go into model view. Here we will create the relationship between our sales table and our date table, and then that problem will be fixed. So I'm going to take order date column from sales table and going to put it on date in our dates table. And then it is going to create a many to one relationship between our sales table and our date table. And I'm going to click save. And go back to my report, and here our problem will be fixed. After channel, I am going to select currency code from the same table, which is our sales table, and put it right here. After that, we need warehouse information, which is also in our sales table. Now we will move forward to our regions table, and we will take city from this table. As soon as we created the relationship between our sales table and our date table, we are also able to visualize the conditional formatting that we did earlier for our cards visual. As I told you before, step by step, this report will come into place and you will have your desired outcome. So don't panic when you don't get the result, because it will all fall into place at the end. After that, we are going to select category from products table. As soon as we selected category, it gave us an error which says cannot determine relationships between the fields. So let's go into the model view and look out for this issue. So right now, our relationship between sales table and product table is not active. We are just simply going to make this relationship active. An active relationship is the primary connection between two tables used for data modeling and filtering. Only one relationship can be active at a time between two tables, and it derives calculations and visual interaction. So now let's go back to our report, and now we are able to visualize category in our table. After that, we are going to select product name from products table. Then we will select sales measure, our cost measure, profit, quantity, profit margin, and average selling price. So this is it for our table. These are the fields we will visualize in our table. Now it's time to do the formatting to our table. Okay, now that you are able to see so many decimal places in our sales, cost, and profit, and it looks really messy right now. So what we are going to do is we're going to select sales, go to measure tools, and select our decimal place as 0. This is going to round off the figure and it will look more clean and organized. After that, we are going to do the same for cost. Instead of auto, I'm going to write 0 here. And then again, same method for profit. And I guess the setting wasn't applied to the sales measure. Let's do it again. Instead of 5, select 0 and it's done. Now our table looks more clean and organized. Now let's move on to the formatting part of the table. For that, we're going to go in Format Your Visual and Style Presets. So I'm going to go with Minimal Style. And then for my grid, I will go with a slightly different shade of gray, which is this one. I will turn on the vertical grid lines and I'm going to select the exact same color above. And then I'll go in border and I'll choose a different shade. We will go with this color. Then I'll select column header and I'm going to go with these default settings. Now I'll move forward to options. Here I'll keep the row padding 3 and global font size as 11. Then I will go in values. Here I'm going to keep these colors. I'm just going to change the alternate background color and I'm going to use a different shade of gray. As you can see, our table is slowly falling into its place. Then I will move forward to column header. Here I'm going to keep the font size as 10 and I'm going to change the background color. Going to go with this exact blue, which is the theme color of our dashboard. And I'm going to go with white color for our text. Instead of this shade of white, let's go with. After that, I'm going to go in totals and I'm going to go with these default settings only. And I don't need to make any of the changes from these formatting tools right now. So we will move forward to general. Then I will go in properties. This is going to resize our table. I'm going to increase height a little bit. It's 244 right now. I'm going to keep it as 268. Okay, it says the height should be less than 264. So I'm going to go with 264 exactly. And going to increase the width a little bit. One, 2, 4, 3 is fine. And for position, I am going to keep it at 146 and vertically at 702. Then let's check the padding. Going to keep it exactly as it is, and I don't need to make any changes in the options. Just let's resize our column so it fits the table. I'm going to do this for all these columns. A little change that we are going to do is we are just simply going to align the text in middle. For that, I will go in column header and choose middle alignment. I'm going to do the same for all the columns. Then for channel 2, and I'll do the exact same setting for each of the columns. I have center aligned all the text in the table. Now our table visual is ready. Let's move on to our another visual. Now we are going to create a map visual. For that, I'm going to select this map, and in my location, I'm going to select city from the regions table. And we are making a map for visualizing all the orders that we are getting from different cities. So I'm going to use orders measure as my bubble. That was it for making the map visual. Now it's time to do the formatting. So I'll go into the format your visual option. I will go into map settings and I will go with grayscale and then I will go in bubbles. Here I'm going to keep the size as -1 and I am going to go with this default color since it matches the theme of my report. This is it from this side of the visual. Then we will move forward to general, and in my properties I am going to increase the height to at least 200, or I think more than 200 will look nicer. We will go with 237, and then for my width I'm going to go with 490. So this is the size which will fit into this box layout that I have made. Then we will go in position. I will position it horizontally at 895 and vertically at 456. Then I'll go in padding and I'll go with this default padding only. And then in my title, I'm just simply going to center align it. And that's all. Our map visual is ready. Now, before starting our other visuals, it's time to build some measures that we will be using in our bar chart visuals. Before that, I'm going to go in Key Measures and select New Measure, and this is going to be our measure for channel name, where we will use the selected value from sales channel. Press Enter. After that, let's create our another measure, which is demo minus bar chart is equals to 0. This measure is likely a calculated measure that always evaluates to the value 0. The purpose for this could be placeholding, highlighting the absence of data, or debugging or testing. So we have made one measure for this. And then press Enter. After that, let's create another measure. This is for month over month profit, which we are going to see in the bar chart. Press Enter, and then we will create our last measure for bar chart, which is previous month profit that we are going to visualize in a bar chart format, and then press Enter. After all four of my measures are made, the channel name measure and the three, I'm going to put these inside one folder that we did earlier for our core measures, variance measures, and month over month measures with the exact same format by going in model view, selecting these, and then giving it a name. Now that we are done with creating measures for our bar charts, let's start with our first bar chart visual, which is going to be a clustered bar chart. So basically we are visualizing profits by channel. So I'm going to select the column of channel from sales table, put it on y-axis. Then I'm going to use this measure for a demo that I made, and I'm going to put it in x-axis. And then I'm going to select the core measure of profit and put it on x-axis. So this is what our visual looks like right now. Let's do some formatting to it. For that, I'm going to go in Format Your Visual. In x-axis, I am going to turn off the values. I am also going to turn off title. Then in x-axis, I am going to turn off values and title again. Then I will go in bars. Here I'm going to select demo bar chart, and I'm going to go with this default color. And for my profit, I'm going to go with this exact color. It matches the color of the bubble of our map. After that, we are going to turn on our data labels. Then I'll keep the exact same settings for values. Then I'll come back again here, and from series I'm going to select demo bar chart, and then profit. Then I will move forward to value. Here I'm going to select the field, channel name, this measure that we created, and then in detail going to increase font size from 9 to 10. Then in detail, I'm going to add my core measure of profit. Then let's do the exact same formatting for our profit. In the field, I am going to select this measure, previous month profit for bar chart that we made. And for detail, I'm going to turn this on. And I'm going to select the measure that we made. Month over month profit, bar chart. Then I'm going to apply some conditional formatting here. Our style will be rules, and we will base this on our variance profit. And the rule says if value is greater than equal to 0% and greater than 0 number, then it will be negative. We will use a shade of red. Then we will add a new rule which says if value is greater than equal to 0 number and less than equal to 0, less than equal to 100%, then it is going to be positive. And for this, we are going to use a shade of green, which shows that it is positive. And click OK. After that, let's move to the general part. Here, I'm going to resize my visual. I'm going to keep my height as 217 and width as 144. This is too small, so let's go with 344, and it fits the layout that we made. Now we will position it at 151 horizontally, and vertically it's fine. And then for padding, I'll go with the default setting. Then moving forward to title, I am going to change the title to profits by channels and resize it to 12, and will align it in center. Then I will change the spacing to 1px, and that is all from the general side. I think I just need to change the color of the conditional formatting that we did because it's not quite visible. So I'll go back to detail in my color. I'm going to use a lighter shade of green so it's more visual. So it's more visible. I'll go with this shade. Click OK. And it is now visible. We are going to do the same for our shade of red. It's quite too dark. We will go with this shade and press OK. So this was it for our first bar chart. Let's move forward to our another visual. Now let's move forward to our another visualization where we will show quantities sold by warehouses. So we are going to use a stacked column chart for it. For this, I'm going to put warehouse from my sales table into x-axis, and I'm going to put the quantity measure in y-axis. After that, we will start formatting the visual. For that, I'm going to go in format your visual, and then in my x-axis, I'll keep the exact same settings, and I'll just turn off the title. Then for my y-axis, I'm going to turn off the value and title. And then I will move forward to columns. Here I'm going to keep this exact color, and I'm going to keep the space between categories as 17%. Then I will turn on the ribbons and data labels. So let's make changes in ribbons now. I will just simply increase the transparency from 30 to 51%. Then let's make changes in data labels. I will keep the position as outside end. Then I will go in value. Here I'm going to increase the font size from 9 to 10. Now let's move forward to the general part. Here in my properties, I'm going to increase the height by 2 points and going to increase the width a little bit. Then I will position it at I will keep it horizontally at 503 and vertically at 225. Keep these paddings by default. Then I will move forward to title. And I'm going to write quantity sold by warehouse and resize it from 14 to 12 and center align it. And that is it. Our another bar chart visualization is ready. Now it's time to create visualization to show sales trend. For that, I'm going to use an area chart. I'm going to select area chart from here. Then I'm going to select date because we will show trend over time. So date is necessary. And I'm going to put date in x-axis. And instead of date hierarchy, I'll just select date. Then I'm going to put the sales measure from the core measures that we created in y-axis. Now it's time to do some formatting to the visual like we did for our other visuals. So we will go in format your visual. Then we will go in x-axis. I will turn off the title and I'll keep these exact settings for values. Then I will go in y-axis. Here I'm also going to turn off title. Then in secondary y-axis, we will keep the settings as it is. Then I will go in grid lines and I'm going to go with a slightly different shade of gray, which is going to be this one. And then I will turn off the vertical lines. Then I will go in lines. I will keep the exact settings for line. I will change it from linear to smooth, and type will be monotone. Then I will go in shade area, and here I am going to choose color, this one, and I will keep the transparency at 50%. Or let's just increase the transparency to 81%. Then I will go in markers. I will select show for all categories, and I'm going to select triangle as my shape, and I will resize it to 3. And then I will turn on the borders. Then I will turn on data labels. Then in data label setting, I will go in options and turn on this option. And I will take the label density to 0. Then I will go in value and I will increase the font size to 10. I will turn on the background and I will choose a slightly different shade. And I will keep the transparency at 70%. Then I will go in the general part, in properties. I will keep the height at 217 and width at 524. Then I will position it at 864 horizontally and 225 vertically. Keep the padding by default. Then I will go in title and change the title by sales trend and font size to 12 and align it in center. And that is it for our sales trend visual. Now let's create our second last visual where we will show monthly order growth. For that, we are going to use a line and stacked column chart. Okay, so for this, I'm going to use short month column in x-axis and our order growth measure that we created in y-axis. Right now, our visual looks like this because we haven't done the formatting yet. So now let's start doing the formatting for this visual. I will again go in format your visual. I will go in x-axis and I will turn off the title. I will do the same for y-axis too. And in y-axis, I am also going to turn off values. Then I will go in secondary y-axis. And then I will go in columns. Here I am going to apply conditional formatting. I will base this on order growth. I will keep this rule exactly as it is and I will choose shade of gray. And then I'll add a new rule. Here I'm going to select greater than number. And then here I'm going to choose this percent. And then I'm going to choose this shade of purple. Click OK. Then I will turn on data labels. I'm going to turn this option on. And then I will go in value. And instead of order growth, I am going to select month over month order growth. This one. Then I will go in background and keep the transparency at 30% exactly as it is. After that, we are going to select our slicer for short month. We will go in format and select edit interactions. Now we will come to this order growth visual and select this symbol and we will be able to see this kind of visual. And then we will again deselect this option and all the icons will disappear. Then we will come back again to our visual and apply some sort of conditional formatting to our values. For that, I'm going to go in data label, value, and here I will do conditional formatting. I'm going to paste this on variance orders. Then I will keep this rule exactly as it is. And for this, I'm going to go with the shade of red. I will go with this shade. I will add a new rule. Then here I will select number. Here I will select percent. Here I will select this symbol. And then here I will write 100. And then we will choose a shade of green for this rule. This one. And select OK. And this is what our conditional formatting looks like. I don't like the shade of green, so let's make it a little bit darker. This is it. And we are done with our order growth visual. Let's just change the title a bit. So we will name this as monthly order growth and I will change the font size to 12 and I will align it center. This is it for our line and stacked column chart visual. Now let's move forward. Last visual of the report, which is going to be a radar chart. And we are going to visualize orders by category. So to get the radar chart, you have to click on these three dots and select Get More Visuals. Here you are going to type radar chart in the search box, and then you are going to import this visual. Select this visual and then you have to click on Add. After you click on Add, you will be able to see this visual in your visualization pane like here. So I have already imported this radar chart. Now let's create this radar chart. For that I'm going to select it. Since we are creating orders by category, so I'm going to take category from product table and put it in category data, and then I'm going to choose my core measure, which is for orders, and I'm going to put it in measure data. After that, I'm going to select this slicer for select product. Then I'm going to go in format. I will select edit interactions. Then I will turn off the interaction for this radar chart visual. And now we have a clear view of our visual. Now let's get back to do some formatting according to our report. But before that, don't forget to turn off your interactions. Then I'll again select this visual and then I will start formatting it. First of all, we will go in radar. Then I'm going to choose my first color, which is going to be this purple. Then for my second color, I'm going to choose this shade of blue. And then for my third shade, I'm going to go with this shade of pink. Then I'm going to change the line type to this line. And I'm going to keep this opacity to 0.5 and split radar to 4. Then here I'm going to increase it from 0.3 to 0.4. After that, I'm going to go in shapes. Here I'm going to select a circle and I will resize it to 7. After that, I will go in labels. Here I'm going to change the font style and I will increase the distance from 3 to 4. After that, for my axis configuration, I'm going to resize it to 9 and then I'm going to edit the font. Then I will turn off filter interaction and turn on custom tooltip. Here I am going to change the font size to thin. Then I will move to the general part of the formatting. Here we are going to resize our visual according to our layout. I'm going to keep the height at 235. I'm going to increase the width till 302. Then I'm going to position it at 147 horizontally and vertical size is perfect. After that, I'm going to keep the exact same padding. Moving forward to our title, Here we are going to resize the title to 12 and we will align this in center. Then I will check the spacing and 5 is perfect according to our report. This was it for our last visual. Now we are going to make some minimal changes to our report. So what we are going to do is we are going to select our card visual. Then we are going to go in format your visual. Here I am going to go in preference labels and I will just choose a lighter shade of green which will go accordingly with our report. So let's say we are working with our sales visual. So first of all, I will select the series for sales. Here I am going to select variance sales. After that, we are going to go in detail. And then here in our conditional formatting, I am going to choose a lighter shade of green. So instead of a darker shade, I will choose this shade and select the code for this shade. Click OK. And I will do the same for our remaining card visuals. One more thing that I will like to edit is that I will select the label for sales last month and in my title I am going to select custom and instead of sales last month I am going to write previous month. And I'm going to do the exact same steps for our remaining 5 card visuals. Now we are done with almost everything. It's time to give some final touches to our product. So first of all, we are going to put a header for product performance dashboard to our report. So for that, I'm going to select text box and I'm going to keep the font size at 20 and I'm going to keep this style. Instead of this, I'm going to go with this style and I'm going to type product performance dashboard. After that, I'm going to select bold and then I'm going to position it at the top of our report. Then I'm going to go in properties and resize it. I will change the height to 55 and width to 547. Then I will position it at 156. And instead of small letters, I'm going to capitalize all my letters. Then I will look for padding and keep it exactly as it is. After that, we are going to insert a logo in our report. For that, I'm going to go in Insert. And here I'm going to select Image. And then I'm going to go in my desired folder. And I'm going to select Logo. And position it right here at the top. Then I'm going to format it a little bit. I will keep the scaling as normal and I will change the size of it from 215 to 89 and width to at least 100 or let's just do 102. After that I'm going to position it at 17 horizontally and 4 vertically. And I'm going to keep the exact same padding. That's all for my logo. After that, we will add a little bit more definition to our report. So for that, I'm going to import some of the icons that I have pre-made. And here I'm going to import all 5 of these. This is my first icon. I will do the formatting later. First of all, I'm going to import all of these. Now that I have imported all 5 of these icons, I will resize them. So first of all, I'm going to resize this icon. I will go into general and in properties. I will put it at 35 and width at 37. Then I will position it at 1 horizontally and 2 to 4 vertically. After that, I'm going to select this visual and I'm going to keep the height for this visual at 40, or let's do 42. Then width at 35. I will keep it horizontally at 3 and vertically at 281. After that, I am going to select this visual. I'll keep the height for this 35, 37, horizontally at 1 and vertically at 346. After that, I'm going to select this icon. I'm going to keep the height and width both at 37. Going to keep it horizontally at 3 and vertically at 404. And then for our last icon, I'm going to keep the height at 37, width at 35, and I will keep it horizontally at 464. After that, I am going to put text in front of these icons. So first of all, I am going to select text box, and then I am going to go in effects and turn off the background. Now I'll keep the font size at 12 and font color as white. And then I'm going to type my text, which is orders. And then I'm going to drag it down in front of the icon. And now I'm going to resize it. For that, I'm going to go in properties. I'm going to keep the height as 33 and width as 100, or I'll just drop it down to 92. This looks perfect. After that, I'm going to position it at 37 horizontally and 287 vertically. This seems perfect. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing for each of these visuals. Now that I have named each of the icon, it's time to give a small detailing to this product icon. For this, we are going to go in Insert, and from Shapes, I'm going to select this rounded rectangle. After that, we will increase the rounded corners to 26. Then I'm going to go in Style and change the shade from purple to the shade of white. After that, I'm going to turn off the borders Then we are going to change the size for this visual. For that, I'm going to go in General, and here I'm going to go in Properties, and I'm going to keep the height as 42 and width as 138. Then I'm going to position it at 1 horizontally, and vertically I'm going to increase the size till at least 221. After that, we are going to put our text and icon above this box. For this, I'm going to select it and I'm going to change the positions and fix it accordingly. Now that I have created this shape, I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to go in Format tab, and then I will send it backward. What it is going to do is the rounded rectangle will remain in back and our text and icon will come forward. And then we are going to do the same thing for our icon. I'm going to select it, format it, and I'm going to choose bring forward. And now I'm going to put it on our shape. I'll repeat the exact same thing for this text. Bring forward, and then I'm going to do the final formatting here. Now I'm done with positioning my icons and their text boxes. Now let's see if this report is functional. Right now we are visualizing the data for polo shirts in the year 2022 for the month of April. So we are going to select another product. Let's go with Flapback. And yes, our report is functional. It is showing us all the data related to Flapback. And then it is also showing us the variance for each of the card, the progress for previous month too. So this was it for today's video. I hope you found this tutorial beginner friendly. Give us your feedback below in the comments, and we will see you in the next video.